It's Wednesday, August 19th. Welcome aboard to this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us.
We'd like to remind you right at the top that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website. You can check them out at www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
Looks like we're just standing here along the side of the road, and in actuality we are, but this is a road that for those who travel it quite frequently can be very, very frustrating, speaking from experience right now. This is Route 149 behind us, and just off into the distance you can see the Route 6 overpass. This is the intersection of 6 and 149. The Conservation Commission on Tuesday night states came in with their representatives to talk about an improvement project here. Some would say a much-needed improvement project. Ultimately, what they're going to do, set up lights here and also add deceleration lanes along Route 6. Let's hear right now more from Peter Basilio, who's the project manager proposing this proposal before the Conservation Commission.
We delineated one wetland resource area, and there was another one that was also brought to the attention from the Commission. The one we delineated is shown here as wetland number 1, and the one brought up by the Commission is shown here as number 2. We're not doing any work in the wetland area. This project consists of installing traffic signals and some roadway widening to put in left turn lanes on Route 149, and also improve deceleration lanes on Route 6, shown over here and over here. We're proposing hay bales and silt fence around all the wetland areas, and as shown by these details, the installation method, and also erosion control at the catch basins by putting filter fabric during construction.
Okay. Are there any questions from commissioners? John?
Where are the traffic lights going?
The traffic lights are going here, right at the intersection.
Both of them?
Both of them.
You'll have to, again, use your mic when you do.
Right at the intersections.
When will you start and when will you complete this project?
This project's currently just submitted in the 25% design, so it's unknown when this project would start. It's expected to take one construction season. It could take probably as much as another year to complete, going through the design phase through Mass Highway.
Thank you.
Larry?
Let me clarify something. This is too good of an opportunity to ask this question. Is the left side of your drawing the eastbound, coming from top to bottom, is that eastbound on 6?
This is eastbound.
Yes, and that ramp coming off of 6 is treacherous. Is anything being done to make that curve less of a severe curve? Or I realize you're putting a deceleration lane in there. At least that's what you say. Is there anything done about the curve itself? So I can't point my further up. Nope, down right there. Anything being done to make that less of a right angle?
Nothing currently proposed, but we are doing the deceleration lane, so it gives opportunity for vehicles to really slow down, to take that corner much slower than as opposed to going in the fighting in the travel speed lane as people do currently.
Okay.
Could you point out the deceleration lane you're talking about?
It's this dark area here. We're going to widen a full lane width. And actually it's on the other side as well, too.
I think that'll take care of it.
Tom?
It'll help.
Yeah.
I think this is a good project that, I think a lot of people has been looking for, trying to improve that area. Do you have any drainage improvement in that area?
The drainage improvements, currently what we're proposing is to put deep sump catch basins in any of the basins that we're going to affect.
Okay.
Pete?
This is my exit for 200 days of the year, so I'm really happy to see this. I wasn't aware of any wetlands there. I'm pretty surprised by that. The one caveat I might put in, I know given the amount of open land around there, conservation land, if these wetlands serve at all as nurseries for amphibians, and I have no knowledge of whether they do or not. As I said, I'm surprised by their presence there. I would hope that if it's at all possible, not to have construction occurring during March and April.
That's probably a problem. I would suspect that the construction, that they're going to avoid the summer
They
months.
definitely want to avoid
And so
summer.
you'd be cutting
Okay.
down on the...
No worries then. A few amphibians are going to get switched that year.
I have one letter here from Hank Farnham, Town Council for West Barnstable. He says, I've been involved with this project along with Representative Jeff Perry for about 4 years. In addition to us, the West Barnstable Fire Department and the Barnstable Police Department would like to see improvements made to reduce the danger that presently exists there. Both sides of this intersection, east and west, are poorly designed, leaving high-speed blind spots resulting in numerous accidents, many of a serious nature over the years. I'm delighted the state is finally at the corrective stage and hope the Concom can facilitate the project as expeditiously as possible. Reconfiguring the intersection is a very high priority for West Barnstable residents as well as for those who frequent the area. All right. Anything else, Commissioners? Any public comments on this project?
Motion for negative determination, Mr. Chairman.
In a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Your project is approved unanimously. Thank you very much.
After the approval from the Conservation Commission, obviously the state's going to move on to the next step. The timeline right now is still up in the air for this project.
Now, we've been covering Bud Briot, the airport manager from Barnstable Municipal, and he's been describing the preparations that are ongoing for the arrival of President Obama this coming weekend. Here's what he had to say.
This is the notice to airmen that's being published with regard to the President's visit to Martha's Vineyard, and you saw we passed that around for your reading pleasure, if you can decipher it. But essentially, there's a 30-mile security zone and a 10-mile security zone, both of which go up to 18,000 feet. They move with the President wherever he is. And it starts on the, I believe it's the 23rd. My birthday. Did these email? I think I got this. I'm not sure if that was emailed to you or not. Did you get it already? I wasn't sure. So that is started. We are working with TSA. We will be working with, I'm sure, the Secret Service. As outlined in there, you'll see that Hyannis has been designated to be a feeder, gateway airport. Anyone that's coming in from the general aviation sector that doesn't have an approved security plan or they're not an air carrier would have to come through our airport and be screened by FAA. And then under the rules that are outlined in that procedure, then they would be allowed to proceed to Martha's Vineyard from here. There's two other airports. One is Providence and one is Teterboro, I believe, that are considered to be feeder airports.
But kind of interesting, I don't recall, I've been here 6 years now, and I don't recall this at all for Clinton.
Clinton was pre-9/11.
It was, just like this?
Pre-9/11, so a lot of things have changed.
There were restrictions, but it wasn't like this because of it was prior to 9/11.
So I just want to let you know that what we just did for the Vice President, we consider that a dress rehearsal for what may be occurring starting next week.
What kind of plane did he come in on?
G5.
Gulfstream.
Oh, Gulfstream 5. And then that 3 is still over there.
It's got to change the tape out.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think we're
done. That concludes my report.
The President of the United States will be here on Saturday. Now let's take a look at the meeting schedule for the remainder of the week.
The Zoning Board of Appeals hearing takes place at 7 o'clock in the hearing room at Town Hall.
The Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission meets at 7 o'clock in the Selectmen's Conference Room.
And the Shellfish Committee meeting takes place at 7:30 at the MEA Conference Room over on Finney's Lane. Once again, standing along 149 and Route 6 for Kevin Friel, I'm Andrew Goville. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Barnstable Today.